Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. So I got a comment on yesterday's video. Where am I finding my hot leads? Basically, I've been telling you guys this for I don't know how long. Like I keep all of my recommended, a couple of them, my recommended tools and services in the description below, right? So eCarrierCheck being one of those. It's not just a resource for shippers, but for carriers as well. If you are, specializing in a certain type of freight, requiring a specific equipment type, versus just regular dry van, reefer, or flatbed or something, they can be a very valuable tool in your arsenal, right? Especially when it comes to sales, because before you approach that sales call, you are going to want to assure not only yourself but your customer as well that you've got the equipment type, right, and the capacity to handle their freight. Okay. So many of us, and I'm guilty of this as well, when I get into a rush and I go, ugh, and I have a Homer Simpson dope moment, it happens to me. But we can absolutely nail that sales call, right? Might be the first sales call, might be the second, third, follow up with that. But too often times, we get a yes, maybe on that first call, but then our follow-ups are very generic. And then all of a sudden the customer kind of stops responding, or they're not filling out the credit app and everything and sending that back. Well, why is that? Well, keyword there being generic. If you want to make your follow-ups, well, let me back up. You want to make that initial sales call, right? And your follow-ups, whether they be by phone call, email, carrier pigeon, telegram, whatever method you're using, right? You want to keep that personalized and targeted to their specific freight needs, right? We always talk about adding value and things like this, but I think that especially with the recent downturn in the market, everybody, I can, because a lot of shippers kind of went super cheap because they know that they can get trucks cheap, right? They know that we're in an overcapacity. They know that, basically, and no offense by this, basically trucks are dime a dozen. Until capacity shrinks or volumes pick up, it is what it is, right? And even I get questioned. I'm not the most expensive, but I'm also not the cheapest with my customers. And there's times I get questioned, Tim, what's going on with this rate? So, well, look, you trust me, right? We've been together for years. And so, I explained to them the situation because we have had a few lanes pick up significantly, but those are very specific lanes, right? And not that they'll last that way forever, but, my relationships with my carriers come at a cost to my customer. And this is why they use me, right? Versus just, having a plethora of other brokers and carriers and having everybody bid against each other, race to the bottom type scenario. If that's the type of customer you want to beat your head against the wall and work all day for $50, be my guest, right? I'm not there to cost my carriers, myself, or my customer, right? It might cost my customer a little bit more versus, maybe the cheapest truck out there, but they can be assured that truck's going to arrive on time and deliver on time. Okay? Plain and simple. But keep your follow-ups targeted. Keep them personalized. Maybe reiterate a little bit about, your initial call, just a little bit. Don't write a book, right, in your email if that's what you're doing, but keep it targeted, and if you're email marketing, same kind of thing. Research that company before you send out that email. And I know it seems like a lot of extra work versus just having an email script that you just blast out to 1,000 different shippers, right, during the course of a week or a couple of days. But though your margins will reflect that, right? And I've used this example before. It's the difference between shipping lumber and shipping gold bullion. Obviously, those are extreme ends of the spectrum, right? But the idea being is that if you are targeting a certain niche type freight, because we always talk about niches, focus on that niche. And even after that initial phone call, even if you don't reiterate a little bit of what you talked about, bring up the fact that you have expertise in this area of freight, right? Because you don't need, and I've had it, like I've had, a few hundred shippers, but that was across my team, right? I was the sales, and I more or less handed that down to my team, kind of got them up to speed with that customer, and, it worked. Introduced my team member to that customer, and everybody had, certain customers that they worked with, and they ended up getting to be as personal with them as I was, right? So yeah, keep things targeted. It's not, I feel like I've kind of been talking about this, and maybe I'm telling you guys the wrong way. I don't know. I try to be very blunt, very direct. I don't go, well, here's a teaser and sign up now. I don't do that stuff to you guys, right? I just don't. I would rather you guys get the full value from the video. If there is some sort of a follow-up for a tool or service that I use that will benefit you, by all means, take it or leave it. You know what I mean? These are just things that I love, that I use. And in my humble opinion, I think for a lot of other people, in fact, I know a lot of other people use these same tools and services, and it behooves them to do so, right? That's why they stay loyal customers, to these different things, as well as myself. So yeah, just remember to not fall off after that sales call, right? Keep it targeted, keep it personal, okay? And the same thing goes with carrier sales. If you're targeting a specific equipment type, right, treat that the same way as you would going after a shipper, okay? Because as we preach on this channel, and I know that I do, relationships, right, as well as networking. So target your carriers the same as you would your shippers. Okay? So pretty brief video today. I hope that this helped everybody. Obviously without going into specifics of hazmat or containers or, over-dimensional freight, overweight freight, things like this, right? Just keep that in mind. Take what I've said and implement that into your process, right? Whatever it is, or whatever your niche is, I guess is what I should have said. So with that, I will pop up my email real quick for everybody in case you need to email me. You have a specific question or anything like that later on, or you have, anything you've recommended. I have had a few of you, hey, can you do a video on this? And I always try to get to it. So if you have something and you don't want to comment, you feel free to email me if you want, right? And I love the emails as much as I love the comments. I love hearing from everybody. This is why I really try to stay away from all the back office stuff, because I hate paperwork. I hate all of that. I would really rather talk to drivers and customers and things like that. It's just it makes my day more enjoyable, right? And I love it when I can problem solve something or do something great during the day. I always try to stay positive. And when I can benefit someone through my day, I feel like I've really accomplished something. Okay. I really, truly do. So, as always, be kind to one another. Till next time, I'll see you later.